Alright guys, now in this part we want to talk about the views functions and also creating URLs and mapping the view function into the URLs. Now if you see in here, so we have our Django project, and right now this page is by default by Django. So we want to change this. Now if you see in our API app, we have views.py. So this is our views.py. So let me just close these files. And also in our API project we have a urls.py. So this is the main urls.py for the project, and we have already learned that how we can use that main in here. Now first what we want to do is to create a view function in here. So you can use a view function, you can just use Python functions. So we can just say, for example, div index, and after that you can give the request. Now in here you can do whatever you want. For example, you can render a template. Now for the purpose of this course, we are not using Django as a front end. We are going to just use Django as a backend. So if you're using Django as a front end, you can just render the template in here. So for example, you can just say return render, and in here you can add request, and you can render your template in here, for example index.html. But we're not going to render any templates in here because we want to use Django as a backend. So what I want to do is in here to map my URL, I'm going to just import HTTP response. So HTTP response, and in here I want to just say HTTP response, and let me just say it is working. Okay, now we have created our view function. Now if I refresh my page, you can see that nothing happens because we need to map this view function to the URLs. Now we have a urls.py in here. You can do it in here, there is no problem. You can just map this in here. Now let me just show you that how you can do it in here. So there are two ways that you can do this. Okay, now in here what I want to do is to import this index from the API app. So what I want to do is to say from API dot views, I want to import index, and in here let me just create a new path. So it should be index, and this is index. Okay, now if I refresh my Django project, so you can see that it's working, and this is the view function that we have created in here. So it's working. Now this was the first way. The second way is now it's a recommended way that you can just create a urls.py file in your API app. So I'm going to just call it urls.py, and we need to include this urls.py in our main project URLs. So instead of doing this, what I want to do is to include this. Let me just remove this, and here I want to import include. So now I can, in here I can say path, and this is our index, and I want to include from my API app. So API, I want to include .urls. So API.urls. So now let me just copy this and bring this. So now this is my API project URLs. Now this is the urls.py that is located in my API app. So in here, let me just remove this at main and remove this include. So I don't need this include in here, and in here, so for example, let me just make it index. And what I want to do is to import this index from my views.py. So I can say that from .views, it means that from the current directory views file, I want to import index. And in here we can say index. So now if I refresh this, you can see that the result is the same. Now, so these stuffs are related to Django. We will change this in the further part of the video, because when we're going to build our APIs, we will use Django REST Framework routers in here.